guys. My name is Jeremiah Ezekiel. Here with me is,
Samuel Lyon.
and it's actually nice having him here on my podcast. And I have a couple of things to want to interact with him. So
Are you scared of me right
no, I'm not scared. I'm not
now?
scared. So first of
I'm
all,
happy to be on the show with Zek Miles.
yeah. So this time I want to talk about how you shed your own shell.
Okay.
How you go into being that man that you're becoming. How has it been becoming that man?
What in the aspect of becoming, I like the fact that you phrase it becoming because
You should become.
I'm still navigating through it. But I feel like for the first time in 26 years, I'm 26 years. So for the first time in 26 years, this is the very first time that I'm going with this serial, taking it one day at a time.
Let me come. You're not actually scared of not mentioning your
My age.
Most
People
don't.
get that a lot. People tell me that a lot when I'm like the very first. I try to do the age thing because I'm like I just feel is they not like to me it's normal. But when I'm like, oh, I'm 26 years old, how old are you? Like,
Most people don't feel comfortable sharing their age.
why do you feel that is?
I feel like they feel pressured. Like once you hit 30 and you're not actually successful in Nigeria, you you feel as a man. So you get people just try to pat themselves on their back, not to throw themselves out to the wolf.
You hide from. Well, I don't know about that mindset, but I know that my dad used to. I think he still does the same thing when he's always like, oh, all my kids will get married at 27. So from the look of things, I have only 1 year to get married.
So will you say you have built your life for your dad expectation?
That if that's what he has failed in now, we have already failed him. If that's the test that I failed in this one already, because there's no way it's happening anytime soon. So but I get the idea of not wanting to say talk about your people don't really I know a couple of people that don't even used to dabble into it, but they can tell you my birthday is this date, but they don't tell you how old they are turning. But I think to me it's kind of like a mindset fuckery for me, my own way, because I'm not it keeps me reminding myself, oh, 26, oh, 26. So it's not in a way that says I'm outwardly trying to pressure myself, or in a way that says, oh, that's how old I am now. So everything matters. That's why I feel I take things a little bit serious, and not in a very crazy and obsessive way, but in a way that says I'm too old for this shit and I'm still young. I'm too young for this shit. So it's more of double-edged sword.
You know what? Doing a solo episode at the Chronicle Podcast is so. Oh, you never know what to expect in the Chronicle Podcast. Wow. Drip and play. They sent us a gift. Wow. Elevate your look, dominate the game. Let's see what they got for us. Our friends at Drip and Play always sending us things. Sorry for interrupting the episode, but we need to inform you that something great is happening here in the city of Calabar. They can send it to you nationwide, so don't worry about how am I going to get the thing. I love what people have. I love this look. What is this? Let's see what we have. Oh wow, this is something very unique. I like the details. If you're someone that loves something that is unique, this is for you. And I love how they know what I might like. I love this brand. They know what to do. This is incredible. What is this? Okay, this is for my sports people that love sports. The embroidery it's not even embroidery, it's done in it. And I know I'm interrupting your episode, but with all I'm trying to say, these are the kind of packages you get. Tell them you are from HelLOMedia. Samuel Lyon sent you the Chronicle Podcast, all the episodes you have here. So Drip and Play, their QR code for their WhatsApp, their QR code for their TikTok is available here. Their numbers are displayed here. I'm trying to get that ready. Please support Drip and Play. Go check them out, and they actually send it to you nationwide. Back to the episode.
Okay. So and two about about your love life.
Are we doing this here?
Definitely doing it here. So about your relationship.
If it's relationship, I have relationships, but we need to know which one are we talking about. The love life, is it the one with God, the one with my dad?
Are you single? Are you still searching?
I think I'm not. Truth be told, I'm not searching for anything right now. But
so you're more like you're focused on your dreams. You don't want
No,
to.
I think I'm in my yes. Since we are in out the shell podcast, I'm not out of the shell for single. I'm still inside.
So,
I'm still inside. I'm not outside yet. I'm not looking for anyone. Nobody's looking for me. So it's more of yeah. I would be real. I would be real because the simple thing would have just said, oh, I'm single, and I will move on. But I would be lying if I say that. But yes, I've had my own fair share of like dabbling here, dabbling in there, and all of that. But like the truth is, it demands a whole lot, and it's not something I'm willing to give. It's not something I'm willing to give. Not that one. Get your mind out of the gutter. But it's more of like I'm not like I don't. I feel like right now I can't really give the time. I don't give the attention because truth be told, they deserve every single bit of what they want. Because somebody will not want to get when I call you, whether you don't want I'm like I'm not a call person, which is a lie. Or I don't text imagine we've been try to throw the fourth wall, break the fourth wall. We've been here like literally all day. Imagine I'm somebody that would not ever understand like what I do, like trying to like block myself because when I literally block myself from talking to anybody and all of that, they don't deserve the fact that I would not want to reach out and all of that. So I just feel like right now, like I end up anything. So I'm single, but I'm not searching. So because anybody that comes in now might just carry a lot of baggage. So it's going to be a project.
so let me come in there. So what if the person that comes in your life like accepts you carry your baggage, like you're like trying to build from scratch? Because most people like just like you're saying, not like you're shying away from relationship. Let me say you don't want that burden. You don't want to be. I'm not saying you don't want to be accountable.
I get your point of like somebody wanting to come here and be like, I understand who you are trying to become. I understand everything that but I'm ready to take as a human being, that's not fair. I don't feel it's fair because well, people have tried. It has not worked. Like the track record shows that it has not worked and it will never work. Because yes, it will never work because two people have to be ready. At some point you get tired.
You never know when it's right, as long as you're Nigerian. So you don't have like that perfect timing or something.
That is true. That's true. To where you're like, okay, there's no perfect time for this. I mean, that one we another one, but Zeke, it has not worked. Like it has not been working. So like, why do we? And this is decreasing when you hear things like, "Oh, are you saying?" Because when you say insanity is when you keep trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. It's different. It's just like the podcast we do. I've always tried different ways to make me be push an edge over maybe the previous year and everything. To me, I can sit here and say, oh, I'm living in a reality that I've been dreaming and wanting for, right? Or I'm shooting in a studio. I've always wanted to do that and I'm doing it, but it doesn't end here. It falls back to the conversation when you were having one of the shoots you had there. This is back to this talking about breaking the fourth one. You talked about not being contented, not being comfortable, and it's just in that same vein where you'll be like because I understand like if there's no way I'm gonna my human side will not let me allow somebody take on a project that I know for sure like I'm not ready to commit because at some point you want to force me into saying it. You know for sure, this is Nigeria or even the world. One day you have a conversation or you have an outbreak of a war of words and somebody says something like after I've been trying to pull on the weight of this, the last thing I need is having somebody because at the end of the day they are right when they say that, but at the same time I don't want to have that emotional baggage. It's a whole lot already. You have other things that you're trying to carry, so to carry emotional baggage and add with it in that way. So I would just somebody might want them. I'm like, oh, let me get try. Not even near you, not at least not now.
Okay, I get it. So that part you said that you're going to be a man, like I have this bugging question in mind, like, so is it right for a young child, like a male gender, to leave home early, or you should just wait so he gets like financial buoyancy? Like most parents will always say, most people like my aunt will always say, why did I leave home early? But I have a different mindset. So
I want to answer that question. I just want to ask, you talk about age. At what age did you leave home?
I left home when I was 21, heading 21.
When you were
Heading
to 21, that's when you left home. Okay. For context, I left home when I was I think that was a few months away in June 2017. That was like a few months. I was still 16. Because I've always had the mindset of I used to try to see I can put a bit of my story in any of the guests I talked to. The last of 9 kids. All of my siblings has always had this how do they call it? They have this playbook where at some point they leave. Everybody eventually leaves. But for the first time in how many years, I was the only one that were like, you are not going to leave because you are the last. You are the last born. Last borns don't leave. Last born stays with yes. And being raised by only one person, that's our mom. I'm not going to lie to you. Talk about emotional baggage. I think this is the very first time I'm saying this anywhere else, and it's crazy that I'm saying it on your podcast. I've had to be the one to carry the weight of my mother's death because I felt like when my mother died, and for context, my mother died in front of me and my mom's favorite child. That's the person I followed, my immediate elder brother. The way he came back home that particular day was crazy. My mom asked for me not to be around. So she died of my brother's hands. Two of us took her to the bathroom, but she asked for me to tell him to go. My brother said go. I did not even move from here to there. My brother started shouting, and I went there, and my mother was right in his arms. And this is just get this imagery in your head. He passed her to me, and I'm telling you this craziness because, like, this with me holding my mom, like, holy shit. And we are trying everything to bring my mom back alive. We couldn't get that done. We had to go to the hospital, and the doctor was like, "Oh, your mom is they declared her dead." And I'm like, "Huh?" So she's sweating, she's hot, like everything. Like, what are you saying? Which one be dead? And I'm like, getting angry, going to go and meet my brother to tell him that waiting these people they talk here. As I was going to go and attack my brother, oh boy, he's no waiting. My brother, like, he literally passed out, still standing in that. So what was holding him was that iron that he was standing close to. Me, I did that. My brother was falling off, and all of a sudden, 9 children. I was the one that was like, oh, now me they go. I literally carried my mom with a couple of men that helped me take my mom to the mortuary. And I need to give you this image because this is how crazy. That's when I say I feel not ready because I'm like, there's still a lot of emotional baggage I have to unpack. This still falls back to that. And they were like, oh, over here, you tie the hands of who you bring. Imagine somebody telling me I have to tie the hands and legs of my mom. That's how they do people that die over here. I've never, do you know how, when we used to talk about, like, at some point, I couldn't control, you can't control your leg. They gave me I came with the wrap and everything, but I couldn't just, like, there was no human strength to tie. Like, how would you tie your mom? This is the person that gave you life. This is the person I just saw, like, this would have been with all this while. So, to not really go so far, 2017, I was about writing my wife and Neko. I always told myself that I know that my mom already started making calls. My other sister in Port Harcourt, shout out to Sister Mary, she was like, oh, they should send him to me. They were like, oh, I will send him to Lagos, my other sister. So, like, they as if they are negotiating who will get me. And I'm like, oh, should he rather stay over here? But the decision was tilting to Port Harcourt. Let him go to Port Harcourt. I was like, huh? Me go to Port Harcourt, okay? God forbid. I literally packed my bags. I called my godparents and told them that I want to come to Calabar. I want to come and stay with you guys. I don't want to stay in the village. They will keep me here. I was the local champion. That was how crazy it was. And I ran away from home. All through that year. My dad was not here in our life. So the only person we called was my dad. Oh, he's with me. Just talk to his mother. Let her leave him and all of that. So it was more of like they kept on, you have to come back. I'm saying this because I never went back on that. And I remember one of the conversations, my own sister telling me, you see this thing you did, it will backfire on you. And I remember crying. I'm like, Jesus, if what I did was really wrong, let it backfire on me. If it wasn't, let it not. That was what I said. I started, the next week, I started computer school. I started connecting myself here in Calabar. I was now like, okay, trying to figure myself out. Not even up to a year. This thing I just finished talking to you. My mom died. and I've been going with 2 questions every single year. I'm like, what if I never left? Would my mom be alive? Because this the health thing, I believe, with me around, I would have been able to like see what is going on and also be there to like give physical feedback to my sibling. Maybe our mom will still be alive. That's the number one. Number two, what if still with her, what happened on the 27th September still happened? What thing we go still do? Like, how would my life be? Now, the place, the way me I used to see them, like, the place that I was fearing to not to go. Maybe after they don't finish the burial, they will plan, say, okay, you don't get where they go. Yeah, follow what person will carry me go. And the someone sitting here with you won't even be sitting here with you. So that's why sometimes I just feel like it's, right now, I'm like, I don't even remember the question you asked me, but like, it's more of like, I had to leave. Okay, we're talking about like leaving home. I had to, like, at that time, I just was so convicted. I'm like, I need to leave. I need to leave. I don't know how. That's another thing. And I think that's what makes men men.
Yeah.
They take it sometimes. If you go around now interviewing all men, they will tell at least out of, if you interview 100 men, actually half or even not more of those men, they will come in that conversation, they will tell you that there was a decision I made, that I don't know the outcome, but I still did it anyway. And that's why one of the things where women will be like, they can never be like men, because men can decide on something instantly and they stand by it and they die with it. And it's just one of those ones. So leaving home is not for everybody. Like I left home before 17, and it has not been all rosy. You can see me steady and look at him showing up, because I've refused to not let it go bad. Because at the end of the day, even if it go bad, Nasha for go back my house, but I don't have that place to go back to. So it's the same thing like any other person. Now, who wears should know where they turn up.
True.
If staying at your parents' place was okay for you, you won't be out. But at the same, I can understand when they say, "Oh, why would you leave? Why would you leave?" We have people that stays with their.
No. For just like you're wrong. There are still people that like live like life is good at like their parents' house, but you still like choose to leave because it's just like this normal trend. Like I always say, it's trend.
Is it? Like I think it's a pathway. Like how will you?
A man.
I used to be. In fact, I'm even more intrigued to know who has stayed with their parents. Like I want to know why are you still there. Like what is like okay? Except I don't even know, because I'm not. It's not even like I'm well connected. I would want to know like people that have like people that come from very rich homes that you have no reason to leave. But even those ones, if they still their parents still end up. So I'm like, it's kind of like a part. I'm not sure. Like there's, I just don't know which home you would have kids still stay with their parents. We're very like maybe. Well, they might be. They'll.
For me, I'll say it's not like they're doing.
One of our crew members lifting his hand up like, I'm still with my parents, excuse me. but yes, I'm not sitting down here saying there are no people out there still staying with their parents and everything. But truth be told, that crew member that lifted his hands there, if he tells you what he has to deal with on a daily basis, to me, you would, and some people will see him being with his parents and everything, like, I no go travel and everything. But to me, he's even I feel like he's even better than us in some ways. Because that shows the kind of person that he is. Because the bullshit that I feel like I'm running away from, he's in there taking it and he's handling it well. So that is it. So instead of you to say like, go for me, go ask him like, how are you able? Because you know what it means to like, you think he won't wake up some days feeling some kind of way. How does he deal in those days? In days that maybe they talk to him the way they will talk to him to say, in one place. You know that kind of thing. So all of these things, what he has been navigating. I'm not trying to divert to because I know the crew member, but I know when I communicate with him and he will tell me something, but he's still navigating through it. So who is the strongest? I can point him. So yeah, I just feel like if you know you can afford to leave. Now, somebody afford to leave is not just the money. Do you have the network when you leave? Because there are sometimes if you were home, you understand? If you were home, you have some things will happen to you outside. You don't say at least you their house, But when you there outside, it happen to you. How would you able to navigate it? Because home no come they save you when you there outside because you don't know that you don't go. So it's one of those things that I'm like, can you afford it? I remember when having that conversation with a friend of mine, I'm like, can you afford it? and we're not just talking about money. Can you afford it emotionally? Can you? Because there are some days you will run mad. Alex behind the camera will tell you the same thing. But at the end of the day, is how you show up for yourself every time. If you can afford it, then make a decision. If you can't, don't even follow peer pressure. Don't follow say I see my friend do. If your friend open mouth tell you the real truth, you wouldn't even want to try. So
For me,
yeah.
I would say living alone is not like you're surviving every day, because it's more like challenge. It's not like a bed of roses they all say. Because for me, I'll just say living alone, your mentality will actually change. And just like you said earlier, your parent at home will not actually fight the battle you're facing outside.
Mm-hmm.
And just like my aunt, she said, there's blessing attached, like going into staying with your parents at home. There are some things that might happen to you spiritually. Not like I'm saying young people are not like spiritually strong or drawn to like
But
religious.
let's be truthful.
Yeah,
Like,
we are not. Yeah,
they are not really,
we are not
but
really.
people are. No, but not majority.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So at that point, there are spiritual battles that you might be facing, and you're not like well exposed. You're not like spiritually fit, like fight your battles and stuff. Like your parent might actually come in at that point, because you might wake up. Sometimes you might have this negative dream, and you don't even know the meaning. You don't even know who to compel in, who to share, and who to give you the right meaning. At that point, if let's just say you are still staying with your parents, and you might share that, typical Nigerian mom, like tell you to go down on your knees, pray with the anointing oil. It actually works.
The way yeah. Okay, you mean when you want to leave?
No, not when you want to
Like
when
normally,
yeah,
those kind of things can happen.
like with a spiritual this thing. Your parents actually, for me, I'll just give kudos to the parents, because in this our generation, 90% of us spiritually we are failed. Like at
But
some
you know,
generation.
I'm not trying to be spooky. Now, jeez, as we were talking about this, I just remember something. I'm like, like I don't know about. I still feel sometimes I feel my mom is with me. I swear to God, like I still feel that even as close as this week,
You
it's
felt that
on
presence.
Sunday. I swear to God, like for years, she doesn't talk to me. Like when I dream, if I'm dreaming and my mom is in that dream, she doesn't interact with me. She interacts with every other person. She never talks to me. But I think this is the first time in years, like since she passed that. Like I feel, she was not saying she was talking to me, but I felt like this one was
It's
more
meant for
to.
you.
And then what I'm about to say will sound crazy, but up until my mom died, I don't used to sleep elsewhere. I sleep in my mom's room and I sleep next to my mom. That's why when I woke up on Monday morning, it's so spooky. But I felt like, like I felt the presence, and I felt like, So, but I don't know what that was. But I really felt like I felt my mom's presence, and it's one of those things. And the way things have been going this week is very, very different. And I'm like, I'm an attached to that, because most times when I'm having like the craziest times is when I feel I say my dreams and then I feel it. So it's one of those things that I'm like, because me, I was pretty close to my mom, but in a way that say like we're just like kind of best friends. But it's just cool. I get those ones. I miss wanting to have somebody that if there's something that will happen to me that I want to my mom.
So for me, like still have that flashback. Eventually, it falls back to what we were saying. Parents do have like a big role to play in our spiritual life.
How many years have you lived there? How many years have you
I
been
think
there?
it should be 4 years now.
Do you have a relationship with your mom?
Yeah, I do, but not that strong. But whenever
Wow.
I go home and have this conversation with her, like whenever I have this conversation with her, it's like she's now reminding me of like I shouldn't go astray, even if I did somehow. It's like reminding me of my purpose. So I feel like every young person should have like that conversation with either their parent or their guardian, at least, because growing up as a young person, you never have your own way, right? No matter how disciplined you are, there are some point you actually fall out. And I think you said something like, the other person said being accountable. You should have someone that should always check up on you, like
You
are
should
you
have
doing
your
this?
accountability partner.
Yes, definitely. Because if you don't have that person in life, for me, you're just like a walking corpse, or like you're a person struggling with depression, and you don't have purpose in life. That's me 5 months back. Like I don't see any reason. So I'm like, okay, if I'm alive, that's enough. If I see future,
But do you have accountability partners as we speak right
yeah,
now?
I do.
You do, right?
I do.
Is it because I feel what we both miss because is that this thing of like I know it's out the shell podcast, everybody should be out of their shell trying to navigate things. Everybody should have accountability partners, even multiple ones at most. Where it's like, oh, this one knows this one knows this part of me. So that you feel comfortable because
You shouldn't have everything in one basket.
yes, definitely because another thing too is you have to even look out. This is the funny thing now. If it's only one person you're talking to, at some point you have to be worried
Yeah,
about the
that
person's
person.
mental because like if I am your I
You're
am your
scared
dog
about that
back.
person.
Like because I'm always telling you about it and everything. Like how are you navigating the details I'm giving you? It might be a whole lot. Because there's some details in your life that you tell somebody that you have to apologize to the person that oh sorry that about
I
this,
said
but
too
you
much.
need to hear this one. So it's one of those ones that I'm like I feel like having like multiple ones, not the fact that you just know your circle, you know yourself. But I just feel since you've been out of the house for like 4 years, and I think me I've been out for almost a decade plus. That's a decade, yes, a decade and one. So it's 2017 to 2026. That's a whole lot of time. But I feel you should never. There's a ritual I do now where for each time I get to talk to my dad now, I screenshot the call. I screenshot it. I screenshot it. And just because I'm like, we don't just know when is the last time. Funny enough, I just started that thing like a couple of years ago. I think because he calls me me on that the one surviving parent I have now is my dad. We don't talk. We talk once a month, and that once a month is the first day of the month. He will call to do his normal hi, you doing blah, 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 prayer, and that is it. So every single time we get to this is the first time in years he has not done that, and that was this month. And he called in the middle of the month and got pissed. I think in a way that says you did not call. So you see, even for somebody that has been carrying, my mom died in 2018. Somebody took a decision to say I'll be calling this boy once a month, and he has not stopped. 1 month since that time, since 2018, he did not call. Me, I did not call because I've gotten used to
Him doing it.
he has to call me now. What's that one? Why me? If you not call me, wait. So I wanted to wait till the following month. Maybe at that time, this is not coming for June. Another we would talk, but like it's more of those things that says sometimes somebody might be carrying the weight, but you should also look out for them. That's why I said this as a accountability partner matter. As they go there every day, they dump out for one person. Also make sure that the
You
person
also
too, you are taking care of the
accountable.
person because person don't turn a bank. They store. Store is not a fool. So it's one of those ones too we need to look out for because I want like it's my dad. He go call me now. So it's just crazy.
As long as he's a human being, he'll definitely get tired because, like, a life, it mirrors down to like, if you keep doing a particular trend and you're like following a pattern, you definitely get bored. It's like when I used to run at stadium, athletics.
Yeah,
There's this and there's whenever our coach says you should like run marathon around the stadium, like I think how many meters. I get bored and I get tired
because you are
easily.
doing it over and over.
Yeah, no, like for me, I just feel I get tired. I get easily pissed. Like the same environment. I don't know if you get like running.
Okay,
circles.
I get it. You know, like I'm doing this something.
Yeah.
Is it that something you used to do like every Saturday or like every day?
No, like when I was an athlete then. So,
Okay.
but I noticed that when
But you know that when you go there, he's going to want you to
Yeah,
do
to
that
do
same
that
thing.
same thing.
And you're like,
and I'm always tired, but I don't have option, I'll definitely do it. But whenever I'm doing my morning jog, even if I run past like just like let's say running from here to Mobi to 8 miles, the fact that you're not like going in circles, doing the same thing, you're saying the same thing. When you know that when you're turning again, you definitely see. But the moment you're going, you keep going.
Yeah.
You know that okay, I'm seeing different places and getting past like okay, myself, I'm timing myself when I get to Mobile. I should be at Mobile at let's say 30 minutes, and you're there. You or even before that time you arrive at Mobile. There's this excitement, and you now be like, okay, I want to move on. And there's this cool breeze that you feel like going, you're sweating, and you like, okay, I'm seeing different places, and I'm interacting with people, like people are passing by, and you're just jogging, and I don't know if you get me.
But you just the
The ex-
idea
the
here is like
excitement
I'm
that
doing
you're
something
going, you're not
else.
just
Yeah.
stuck in one place.
It's no one route, one
Yeah,
location.
that's how life is. No matter how someone is consistently like doing something, that's something that might like
You need a
wake
tweak,
up.
you need a change.
You just want to change. That's why I say consistency for me. Consistency is like it's a real deal.
If I can even tie back what you just said with when you asked me about love life and me singing and everything, I mean, what if somebody is ready to, like my dad, I think he did not tell me that he wants to be doing it too, but it's a pattern he did, and he has been following that for years. He took the project to call not just, you know the funny thing, not just me. He has 3 kids, not just me, my half sister, my half brother. He calls them the same time he called me. On the first day of the month, he will want to reach out to all of us. So even him got tired. Now, that what he's trying to tell me. I try to always ask myself, someone like, but what have you learned from this situation? What I've learned from what happened in this month is that is kind of like indirectly dropping the baton. Is either I pick it or I don't. If those calls he's been doing all these years did not have any effect on me, then all of us go rest.
For me, I'll say your dad is just like being a male version of like a father. Like I'm not saying we male like men we don't like we feel nonchalant, but naturally all men are born to be like for me. But the way I see
Your opinion, yeah.
for me men are like naturally nonchalant. For me, men are born nonchalant. Before you see like a man like being caring, he's like he decides just like what you say. Men are born to be like cheat. Yeah, it's just in our nature. You get like you like
definitely Alex nature.
Definitely, you just see someone passing by and you just be like, yeah, your body just get excited. You're the one that will tell yourself like, you have to be disciplined. You tell yourself, I don't want to be like. If you're in a relationship, not just relationships, if you're like trying to be focused. There's this funny video I saw Captain Phil.
Okay.
He's saying now we are the dry day focus. There's another lady that
okay, that's also
so there, and funny enough, I think the devil knows when we're actually trying to be like focused in life.
But do you know like the most I'm not saying because I feel like I'm perfect or everything, but I feel like the most craziest thing is men can be anything they want to be.
You mean women?
Men can be anything because they have the power of decision. We know how to take decision. Like we don't struggle with it, except we don't want to do it. If a man struggles with anything, it's because they feel the need of not wanting to do it. But if a man wants to do something, they will do it, right? So, but you see this thing of like, I feel like even the choice to allow distraction come in.
It's the man that he's going to decide whether
because if he decide to go that gym, make the women run around there naked, and he says he will not care, he will not care. But maybe obviously him is a content creator, so he knows that he's doing content and everything. But if you want to really look at it in the scope of like how men works and all, if he wants that to be the question, he will do it. Imagine hearing like I don't tell somebody, oh, I don't know that this thing is happening to me. Oh, I understand. I knew. I decided to do it. So it's just a part of me that is really grateful to like see where somebody has come and how far someone has been. So yeah, it's just crazy. But I really like that you're bringing that up.
So, couple of more questions, just to so about people being in their darkest time, like that spot, whether where you don't know whether to keep going forward or sideways or back way. Like, how do you tend to like go with that? The darkest time in life.
Are you asking in terms of like what they need to do?
Yeah, like for you. No, people have different way they're going to navigate life. So,
how do I navigate out of dark times? Simple thing. I watch wrestling.
So for me, I think like you're just running away. Like you just want to like.
That is it. Now people max. Alex will listen to music.
Okay.
Somebody else would jog. right? Somebody else will literally say, okay, will like be chatting themselves away.
But the funny part is when you're done with that thing, just definitely.
Okay, if we are asking, what do you, because if you're like, how do you deal with darkness? I'm like, I watch wrestling. That's like the first thing I do. But now, if you remove all the marks away, what it remain? I think, I don't think. What I do is finally decide to deal with it by doing what? Asking Samuel Ekpe the hard questions. What really happened? Did you deserve this results that this thing that happened to you? Do you deserve to be in this dark time that you are right now? How did we get here? And now that we are here, what have you learned in all of this? What is this? All the question is what I ask. What is this present thing trying to teach you right now? What are you going to learn going out of this? And now, how do you want to get out of this? Those are the questions that is very hard for me. Sometimes there are situations that will take me months to be able to answer all of this. There are some that will take me years. There is some that I'm still navigating to now, i.e., my mom. My mom passed in 2018. I still don't. So that's why when I say things like I still feel my mom, because I've decided not to like let it go. It still bothers me. If somebody, I hate if he gets to see this. I had a problem with one of my roommates. Not one, that's the only roommate I've had all my life. When I started staying alone for school, we stayed together since 2021. And in 2023, a year before we were supposed to sign out, he said, I want to experience staying by myself. This person, Samuel, okay, I'm giving a shout out to him, my best friend. I can say that proudly now. He said, I want to experience staying by myself before I go back to Lagos, because he stays with his parents. He said, if I move back to Lagos, I want to experience staying by myself. Samuel, this has nothing to do with you. I just want to be on my own. As a friend, how
do you think that?
Trust me, I got mad. I not talked to him for months. I felt like, oh, after we together, like I'm used, like for almost 4 years now, I'm used to sharing this rent with you. What do you mean by you're leaving the whole thing for me? Are you thinking about? I get the fact that you want to experience it. You can still do that without, staying by yourself. But you've made this thing in your head that you want to do that staying alone. What about me? I kept on asking the same question. What about me? How am I supposed to get this rent? And if you're in Nigeria, you know what it means you know how rent is. No matter how old you want to is cheap. And the worst thing is somebody like for
taking you unaware,
and then you were handling 50%. All of a sudden you're handling 100. It's a shock to the system that your bank account, your mental health, nothing is ready for that. Because that's you telling me, you are forcing me to now take up a lifestyle that I was not ready for. So I had to be in a space that for months. I'm not saying in borderline, I started trying to manipulate him not, because I'm like, if I try to do this thing, so not my life, I was say, okay, now don't worry, guy. Oh yeah, now you go your way, I go my way. But that's the fucking lie. I'm lying to myself because this is the pinch me. I spoke with my friends. I met them. Funny enough, at that time, every one of my friends were navigating trying to stay on their own too. So it became a thing where I now left the part of like, I'm going to tell you the real truth. I refuse not to accept it because I'm like, oh, is it because
everyone's doing
this one by oh, you don't just say this on the move, Maggie the move, don't they move, you have one follow it. Because I now felt like, because truth is, as friends, we mirror each other. One way or the other. There are some things that we they do, like let us make way. And Zek don't buy some socks. Me, I want follow back.
I think that's life of a Nigerian trend.
That's it. We follow and I internalized it a lot because I felt like that was it. But truth might be that truly at that time, Okema wanted to actually stay on his own. But I felt like, oh, this is him trying to do competition game. And I'm saying this, I've never talked about this openly to anybody. And I don't know why, maybe it's because of your out the shell, you're making me say things like that. But I wanted to, like, I can't give you all of the questions I used to ask myself without giving you an example. And that was the example. I did not take it well. It got to the point that the most craziest aspect of this was I think a month or two after I quit my job. what better time to tell me that I'm about to take 100% when you saw that I just left a job to to take school fully, which we do it together. It's been working for almost 4 years. Why
now?
leave now? That was my question. Eventually, you will still go back to when you experience staying alone. Go back Lagos. You know, go stay with your parents. What is this whole thing? To me, I felt like it was like we know we need that. It was not needed at all. But you know what happens where like I had to have a moment where I asked all those questions. It was not easy. My friends, I talked to my friends. Nobody supported me in the whole thing. Everybody was like, and I started getting angry with my friends. I'm like, oh, you know what? Fuck all of you. And I was now talking to my colleague, shout out to Wisdom Oko. I spoke with him about it and everything. He had to well, I think I'll come to your house. He came to the house and he literally said, I'm going to do a full-blown therapy session on you. Oh, Benny, sit down for there. And he sat down somewhere and he started asking hard questions. One of the questions that still hits me to you today when Wisdom asked me like, where if let's say hypothetically Hudson leaves I keep calling him this nickname. Okay, man leaves the house now. What happens to you next? What would you do? And it's like you can take your time to answer those questions. Or what would you love to do? Would you love to experience staying by yourself? I'm not going to ask me. I'm staying by myself since. It's like, no, you have not been staying with yourself. When have you ever stayed by yourself? That was the very first time. When you hear light bulbs, I'm like, holy shit, I've never stayed by myself. From my mom to my godparents' house. From my godparents' house to my my namesake's daughter's house. And all of us together, we went to school. From there to the house that I stayed with Hudson. And we stayed for over 3 years. I've never stayed alone. So I'm like, he said, and then I asked the question, would you want to experience it? I'm like, fuck yes. If Hudson can want to experience staying by himself, me too, I want to. Now the question was, how? Truth be told, I knew how, but I did not want to accept that how because I felt it was like, this is him putting it on me. I could not afford the rent I'm supposed to pay and stay by myself. What do I need to do? You have to downsize. I'm like, Hudson is about to make me to lower my standards just so I can stay by myself because I can't afford to stay here by myself because this rent, I can't carry this thing. I struggle with that idea. I'm like, God forbid me, single room, rather die than stay there. God forbid, sharing bathroom. Like I gave all the excuses in the world, barricade myself. I pushed. My friends helped me. My friends did everything. It still wasn't enough. And one of my best friends, the only girl we have in our friend group, Margaret, came to me and she walked with me and we're doing everything. And she's like, you know the funny thing? You can afford to pay the rent. What about next year? I did not have an answer for that. He said, because you don't have the answer, that's why we're not doing it. And it got to the point that she's like, I'm going to let you do this thing. When we went to go and pay for the house I wanted to pay for, she got pissed. She's like, I'm leaving you here. Whatever happens to you, you take it. I've never been so scared of my life. Somebody, like she said, you see this house you want to collect, pay this house. You say they want to pay this house so that you go brag. So that when your friends, everybody come and they do show that say, hey, you say for self, pay for this house. Anything in your life won't turn out. You know what? Take out. And she dropped, I can remember clearly, she gave me 100,000. And she like, go collect the house. When you start staying hungry, when you don't get money to do this, because at this point you have left a job or you are trying to sort yourself out to enter another one, you could just enter Glasgow's. And I've never been so scared. And she walked away. She was like, if you don't hear from me again, just know that you did it. And even I had to run after her. I told her, okay, fine. Whatever you want to do. She paid for the house I stayed for the next 2 years. She just walked in, called an agent, say this is the one we want. She paid for the house. She handed me the keys and left. And did not come back. She said, I'm like, how am I going to, you don't call it for house? How go take print? How go take fix the house together? He said, you know how to figure it out. 2 weeks later, I sent a message to all my friends. I've moved into this house, everybody should come. And I cooked, everybody came with something I ate. The same friends. I was thinking they would never come to any useless place that is not self-con. My friends, like, I have never seen them so happy. And I'm like, so I'm like, it's as if I like to stay for poverty because I want to. Are you mocking me? But it was more of like, anywhere you are, as long as it is you, if you are valuable enough, people it will be okay to be with you anywhere you are. And that taught me so much.
But let me hop in. Not everyone has that. No, everyone is willing to take.
That is it, because at that point I had to go with the shame of like, oh, I can't afford it, because me actually accepting to stay there proved that at that point I was helpless. I had no answers for that, and it's either I take this one and then deal with everything later, or I go do what I want to do and suffer for it. And at that point I gauged the whole thing. It was better to deal with this shame and still have my self-respect and still not know that I'm not dealing with any debtors, than to come there, get the dream place, they dream everything, but have to not sleep at night. Because that house will turn to a ghost house, because I know of physical memory. What if anything happen, debtor will come? Will I be able to stay here? Right? Or downsize and stay in a place I don't want to stay, but I have peace of mind.
It's what people are actually facing, like in Nigeria.
People face it right
people
now.
are facing it
Right now, someone is doing it right now.
90% of people are facing it, especially that in terms of like bills and
Yes.
food and everything. In that food aspect, specifically just maneuver around. But you see that part of you, you know, if you run, you cannot run from your bills.
I say what I say to myself, and I think anybody, if you want to take anything, if you don't want to take anything from this podcast, you've listened to this, why you listened to this long. If there's anything you need to take, is whatever feels right at the moment. That is the next right thing to do. There's some things I do now where I'm like, oh, I don't think I would ever take a decision, but at some point when I'm reviewing, I'm like, that was the best thing to do at that time, and I'm doing it. If you know it's right, you feel it that it's right, it doesn't have to. Most of the decisions you take in your life might not fit your discipline, your standard, and some certain things. But if it saves you mental stress, saves you some couple of naira in your pocket, saves you other crazy thing, then what are we waiting for?
You know what one man said earlier? He said the more responsibility we take on as a man is what actually makes us to be a man. The more responsibility, because women shy away from responsibility, and most now you see, my guy used to say something very funny. He said, as a man, you're not supposed to say, you're not supposed to do cha, but like let's say early, like in the olden days, actually, you don't see a man talk too much. You don't see men dance. There's some few things that most people do now, and you when like based on our modern generation, you now question yourself, this person really a man? And like things change. People are being innovative. You cannot like
Times have changed.
things have changed
Times have
definitely. And you see many people does like this cheeky and even Frankie the whole
Allegedly.
controversy.
Allegedly.
Controversy. People say like that man. He said he knows back in the days men beat women, so his own way of like handling things, he chose to be nonchalant, and the thing actually backfired him, because one thing I tend to understand in like women is that you cannot actually control a woman. A woman will always be a woman.
No, I don't think I would agree.
You know, let me
right
finish,
now,
like,
if you say you cannot control a woman right now in this modern age, I can agree with you. But we are very real. Control over women was happening even before. We are not going to.
It used to happen,
But times have changed now.
things have changed. Definitely.
A lot of things have changed now. Opportunities have been given. Women are ruling in different places that they were not supposed to. Quote unquote, it's a man's world. You're not supposed to be a part of it. Women have been able to. Right now, everybody is independent. You know what?
But you know, like in the Bible, or like biblical terms, you know, it said woman is supposed to be like a support for a man.
You think they don't know that?
They do, but just like things change, like modern way. So now, if a woman can actually fend for herself, basically, since she's now exposed, she feel like she doesn't really need a man.
I know that you would say it's because you are a man and that's why you are saying it. But if we were to remove gender out of it and just say practically a human being, if I'm able to provide for myself, I'm able to handle everything for myself, why do I need this other one?
That's true.
I
That's why
I have the opportunity to be with where people like you have different that where we have I work I see both people, both men and women, they come to do business with us and everything, and then you can have them for a brief minutes. They're just there. Sometimes they just something happen and they are just talking about the frustration at that time. I'm telling you this in two different. I've experienced it in two. This they said my men and women. A man sat down and like, this is near that happened because I have to paint the picture so you understand what happened. The man came to the market with his wife. She handed the baby to him. So making hold the baby, there for a car while she goes to go and buy the things. She took time. And then he started with me like, oh boy, wow, women, now wow. That's what they say, hey, this thing go be 20 minutes. See, I'm now. We don't they go, that's 2 hours they go, so I don't even tire out. And this picket, he was very, the next thing that came out with my was like, oh more. You know, be saying, because of them saying that this picket woman they fight. What's it go carry me make a deal with this carry.
So that
And he said that I'm like, oh, that's the purpose of this whole thing now. We are tolerating everyone is tolerating this because we want to make family. I'm telling you, that's for the man point of view. I had a song with a lady came in to deposit money and she was just she had other women were there. They were just oh, how was your day? I think they knew that they know they were just talking about everything. I was waiting to go like they're talking about what they have suffered in men's hand. And after they were dabbling and this one share the old, this one share the old. They one of them said, waiting go even women with this offer, waiting go even make us, waiting go even make me. Can you say go they give this someone like this? You know, be this. Now this my someone I thought look how go they have now that's what they can do.
You see, that's what
so everybody have the same ideology.
For you, love is transactional.
But nobody wants to agree that.
Nobody wants to. But it's the hard truth. It's the bitter truth. Just like the other man said and the other woman. Because that will actually holds a relationship. If someone doesn't have like a valid reason to go into a relationship,
why am I staying?
Yeah, why am I staying? Because for me, love, communication, money, for me, that actually holds a relationship. Apart from it being transactional, communication and money. I know people might say money, people you have to like genuine love. For me, if you don't have money, you might have a lovey-dovey kind of relationship, but at some point, money will make the thing just fall. It's just like now you're a pastor. You look like
I'm not a pastor. You can say you're a pastor. You don't come. You want to come for me? Tell me how you.
Okay, a project now. You're looking for like you're trying to want to build a project for like a church, and now you know that this project needs money. So are you the older days you praise or fire?
They go there, you go fish. They're running in the fish.
You get so
you have to
we just have to tell ourselves the bitter truth. If we know that we need money. That's one thing that's actually making men like most relationship fail.
But we have a lot of examples that it's not just money that keeps this whole thing going. Because funny enough, you talk about pastors and I just remembered. This week I listened to a sermon from one of the pastors I listened to, Pastor Kenan Anderson, and he was communicating about this whole getting what do you the story of Samson with Delilah and everything. Like, what would the strongest man in the entire world? That's the strongest person I think we know on earth aside from God. Like, he doesn't like his prize, what he was able to do with himself. Like, what would Samson be doing with someone like Delilah? And the funny thing is how many times she kept on pressing and asking him what is the source of this whole thing. And for every time he tells her, he would like
try to like maneuver it.
How many times did he not learn? So you see that this whole thing, and then the pastor was like, "Oh, I've been reading this scripture, I've been preaching about this scripture for years. This is the first time. It took me time. Like it took me like, wait, just say we read this thing backwards, and we've never really told ourselves the whole truth. It's because Delilah there was doing something that any other person out there was not doing for him. Affection, because he just gave him affection. This person gave him everything, and the pastor really went crazy. Like, I know you always sit down there asking yourself crazy thing. At that time, the last one she did that they actually finally came to cut it when he told her the real truth of like, oh, it's when you cut off my hair and everything. He was like, let's be real here. In context, was there any drugs that she would have been should have? And because she was mentioning drugs, all the drugs that you can give someone now to take and the person will sleep for I don't know because explain to me how someone travel like that will be knocked out in sleep so that they cut all your hair, tie you, do all those things. Yeah. What did they do? The next thing, person just turned, look camera. Everybody said, oh my God. So the liner really went down and did a very nice job that person was sleeping like, oh, thank God, this, that. Alex, get the fuck out of my but so you see, like, sometimes we cut all those things. So when I sit down, like, I see stories like that and you try to, like, talk about it's something, it might be different for everybody. Someone like something, you think it was money or you think it was this. You are with this person, now many people have lied to you. You don't say na lie. You don't see how don't try to betray you at all. This woman came in, she stayed. All because they did. And the way he really gave us to like, go back and read about it in this context. See, she was promised by those people who promised her money. And we're like, he tried to like, how much that money would have been at that time. So this is like, this woman came in here with an agenda. Like, okay, the goal is to come here, commit him, and get him arrested, make him visit, capture him, he go pay me. She entered a relationship, give him love, sold him everything he needed. He wanted, this is a strong person, he needs somebody to talk to, he needs affection. She gave him everything. Just at the right moment. Immediately she succeeded, she fell on it. Did you ever hear about it again? So what makes you think somebody is not out there looking at someone like you, looking at someone like me, and like, okay, so what would he need? But you can't go around carrying a narrative. That's why you see everybody, some people that they say, oh, they don't stay in relationship one day or they don't ever, because you have to, in as much as you are trying not to be crazy with everybody, you still have to look out for yourself. Because I know that you get yourself. We never heard of, did you hear about the guy against him? We don't even know what the story, but we don't know what happened to her next. But that she came in, she did that job, and she left, and she gave us the lesson that we would need. That sometimes you have to be mindful, because what if the person you're receiving the affection from is the wrong one? How would we know? Did Samson ever knew about it? So it was just like a crazy situation that, like, sometimes when you sit down, like, you see some Bible stories, you're like, oh shit, that was true. The girl walked out with the money, and he asked us the question like, who in here won't do the same thing? One lady shouted in the back, who is like, where are they at? Who wants me to be deceived? Because truth be told, all of us will deceive somebody to, like, if they tell me how I go take, okay, I'll pay my body, go in there, start a relationship, deceive you, get working with 50 million. You think I will drop all the Bible and everything? How would you do it? Because everybody wants to survive. So sometimes you don't have to like blame someone for the whole thing, but at the end of the day, everybody's an adult, they know what they're doing. You just have to pray that you have a spirit of discernment to know how to navigate through things. But it's true, it's not easy, but you need to try.
So thank you for being the podcast.
I really appreciate doing this. I don't get to do this often, where I'm chatting with somebody that I'm not the one doing the questioning. So it's a bit fun.
The table turn.
The table turn.
Nice having you.
But I'm grateful. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.